The Renault Clio League is here! Welcome to the virtual WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca for round 1 of Season 2. For the first time, the Renault Clio League will be broadcasted live for you to watch every week from 5:30 PM GMT. I hope you are buckled up and ready for this one, because the Renault Clio League always creates fantastic racing. Before we focus too much on today's events, there's a few bits to go through for all of you new fans out there. Let's start where I always love to start, the calendar for the upcoming season. After today's event at Laguna Seca, we will be back next week at Sebring for the club circuit. During the mini-season between seasons 1 and 2, I got down on track with the other drivers here, and it was an amazing layout. The week after, we head to Daytona Road, but we're not running the whole thing, never. We are running the short layout on August the 2nd. We're heading to Portland with no chicane on August the 9th for round 4, a week off before rounds 4 and 5, between rounds 4 and 5, before we head to Tsukuba for the 2000 Moto Circuit. Heading then to Winton Club for round 6 before another week off on September the 6th. We'll be back at Monza Junior for round 7, followed by Thruxton on September 20th. We head to the short layout at Nürburgring the week before our final rest week at the start of October. Did someone say Knockhill? Because we did. Back-to-back events at Knockhill on October 11th and 18th, with the National Reverse Circuit and the International Circuit respectively. Finally, the season will end on October 25th at Oschersleben B course, the track I somehow managed to win the invert race in the mini-season. That's right, we have inverted races because you are going to get treated today. Not just one race, not just two, 4 races are coming your way today, so let's talk about the format of the event. Just your usual closed qualifying for this event, but all of your odd-numbered qualifiers will be heading out on track for heat race number 1. All of your even-numbered qualifiers, they get a quick break before heading to track in heat race number 2. These heat races, just 10 minutes. You've got to wear your heart on your sleeve if you want to move up any positions in the heats. Bonus points for the top 3 drivers in qualifying and 10 points on offer for the winner of the heats. 8 points for second and 6 for third. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 point offered respectively down to P8. A single bonus point is available for all the drivers who finish on the lead lap if they complete the race with no incident points. All drivers will find their way onto the track for feature race 1 with the grid determined by the heat race results. 25 points on offer for the winner of this 15-minute race, 22 points for second and 20 for third. Following behind that, they'll get 18, 16, 14, 12, 8, 6, 4 and 2 points, all the way down to P12. This race will have 2 bonus points on offer in the feature race 1 for a clean race. And finally, feature race 2, 20 minutes of racing action with an inverted grid. The number reversed, randomly selected each week, with a minimum of 15 cars included in that invert. Because it is an inverted race, only 20 points are on offer for first, 16 for second and 14 for third. And the points drop to 12, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3 and 2. Again, down to P12. But feature race 2 does have the most bonus points on offer. 5 bonus points for lead lap finishers with no incidents. Or, if you get under 4 incidents, you can have 2 bonus points. They do not stack, however. We also have a hard charger award in feature race 2 with bonus points given to drivers who have gained the most positions in that race. 6 points for the biggest gainer, 4 for the second biggest and 2 for the third biggest. We're going to have drop weeks, 4 of drivers' worst heat races, 4 of their worst feature race 1s and 4 of their worst feature race 2s are going to be dropped. These will be dropped based on individual races and not as the whole round combined. The track then, Laguna Seca. Built in 1957, it has hosted races for kart, the American Le Mans and Champ Car, as well as being the home of the Skip Barber Racing School on the West Coast. The 2.23 mile circuit will be one of the longest layouts we see on the calendar. A 30-foot drop is also the biggest height change we will see on the calendar. And that corkscrew is going to be the site of many door-banging racing moments, I am sure, today. So sit back, relax, and get yourself strapped in, because it is round 1 of the Renault Clio League. Season 2 is here. I hope you guys are doing fantastic, and we are already able to get into the practice session, which is ongoing at the moment. 20 minutes left on the clock right now, as we are going to get ourselves over there, and we're going to see if we can see some drivers out on track right now, because it'd be nice to see some of the drivers that are racing around and getting some laps in. As we've got here, this is Travis Linksome Hatfield in the number 10 machine, Division 2. We do have divisions in this race, as you can see, and we will get that better shown on our overlays. Once we're able to figure out our overlays, we will get them done anyway. And I thought I already did, so I'm just going to go over here and sort some things out. We always get issues when you start new things, and this is one of the things that we are getting issues with today, which is absolutely fine. But yeah, we are looking at this Travis Lincoln Hatfield. He's fourth at the moment. Division 1, Richard Dempsey. He's just put himself into third right now. I don't know why this isn't showing me the classes, even though I do have custom classes enabled. That is really annoying. Okay, I will have to figure out why that is not the case, because custom classes are working, but we can't see them on our lovely coloured overlay, which is really annoying. But there it is. This is Dempsey 151 in the 151 machine. He's in third right now, 6th. It's all practice at the moment, so this times it's just drivers getting in to their machines and seeing what they can do. Milan Jukovic goes fastest at the top of the standings in the session at the moment. A nice field of drivers right now as we are continuing around the laps in this practice session. 18 minutes, as we said. So the way this format works is very different to other league races in the fact of the way that it runs. 4 races altogether in this one event, but it is going to be run with 2 heat races and then 2 feature races. Drivers split in half for the 2 heat races. Like I say, once we get into qualifying, it'll be the even numbers that do heat 1. That do heat 2. It'll be the odd numbers that will do heat 1. So 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, they'll all go into heat 1. 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th, they'll go all into heat 2. And then those results will be combined for the grid order at the start of race number 3, which will be the first feature race. Major points available on that feature race. It's the 15-minute race, but it is the most points on offer because the final race, the longest race, that 20-minute one, has the invert, and it's going to be interesting to see how many people are going to be inverted. We've got Jared Swain here going on for a lap. He's in Division 2, so the way that the divisions are sorted are by the I rating of a driver. With the highest I rating drivers, there you'll go into Division 1, and the lowest ones go into Division 2. And you will see some Division 2 drivers up at the top fighting it out, especially in the invert. However, for the most part, you'll see the Division 1 drivers near the top and the Division 2 drivers behind them. But there is always a mix. Championship, there is no overall championship. It is just by division. So those in Division 1 are fighting for the results in Division 1, and those in Division 2 are fighting for the results in Division 2. So Richard Edgar right now, he is the highest driver in Division 2, so he would, if this was a race, he would win the Division 2 race and get maximum points for him. So just an interesting debate. It is a multi-class, but their classes are decided by I rating rather than by the cars that they're driving. They are all, of course, in the fantastic Renault Clio, and drivers having a great opportunity here at Laguna Seca to practice their way around each other, see how each other's drives, as well as trying to get in some fast laps, because it's really nice having an open practice session like this where you can practice together and try and get some laps in, as Zach Thibault is going to try and work on that corkscrew, as are a lot of people. You can see a lot of kitty litter thrown on the ground there. This is Mac Malone. He's in the number 83 machine coming through, and he's just started a new lap. So let's see how this goes as we can have a look at the lap for the first time on board, as he's just coming through the exit of turn number 4 there and up towards turn number 5. Matt Malone in Division 1. He currently does not have a time on the board, or a very representative time, and he continues to won't have a very representative time, as we will continue watching the lap here on board the 502 of Timothy Rosenfeld. Hill comes up towards turn number 6. Very easy to push it wide here, especially if you're running side by side. You can see by the gravel already on the circuit there, it's very easy to push it off the circuit. In fact, let's have a little look at some of the speeds and the inputs under the braking there. Down the corkscrew, keeping it valid on the lap there is Rosenfeld, reaching almost 88 miles an hour before turn number 9 of Rainy Curve. Again, very easy to push it off there. And this is going to be the place where we're going to see a lot of overtaking opportunities. I feel definitely those that are really eager to move up position, as Rosenfeld slides through the final turn of 11 and up towards the start-finish line. Where is that going to put Rosenfeld for his first lap time there, or is that an out lap for him? No, it puts him into 3rd position there. Rosenfeld goes into P number 3. As he continues on through, it looks like we're missing a driver in P14. That's Matty Quidland. He is in 14th position. I don't know why it decides we do not get to see Matty Quidland, but we don't, as Slugger goes slightly wide and he minds out of the way of drivers behind him. This is Bob Coplet in the 727. He's in 9th position at the moment. I'm very interested to know why our class system is not working, even though it only says that one entry is not assigned to any class. As I am going, this is the only time you can really look at things like this, which is really unfortunate, but I am going to have a look at things here, and if we can go to our class settings, because I would like to find out why we cannot have our class displayed here for some reason. As I will go to custom classes, that's what we want. Everything is working, I believe. I am really not sure why things are not working here, but I am looking and seeing, because it just says that one entry is not assigned to a class, so I do not know why neither of our classes are displaying here as custom classes, which is really annoying. We will just do one reload of Atvo, and hopefully that will fix the issues. If it doesn't, it is something that I'll need to work on for next week. One of these things that occurs, unfortunately, when you are a single person doing the broadcast. You have everything to try and figure out. But this is a very nice looking Kellogg's livery. What is it with people driving liveries of food brands? It makes me hungry whenever I'm here and we've got some food brands out on there, the track. But there we go, we've got the Kellogg's this time, some Frosted Flakes on there, as that was Slugger moving out of the way of the 727 so that he can continue his lap and complete his lap. So Timothy Rosenfeld there in that Slugger driver machine. Crossing the line is the 727 on board with Bob Poplet as he comes up towards turn number 1. Tucks it nice onto the curbing. You've got to keep it there for that double apex, and he does so nicely indeed. Luckily, we have got this practice session to give everything a go. why. No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know, but there we go. It's not going to work for us today. We'll get it sorted for next time. What I am going to have to do then is make sure that the onboard, make sure that they show the overall position, because otherwise we're never going to work out what position anyone is in. There we go. Okay. Right, let's have a little look then. This is Poplet. He is 727. He is 11th. Why is this not working and showing the overall position? This is something that now I need to work out. Show overall position. There we go. And hopefully, there we go. We've got it working. So he is 11th overall right now. Highest Division 2 driver is Travis Lingscombe Hatfield, who is in 7th place right now. 7/10 off of Milan Jukovic. So it's going to be interesting to see, actually, where he's going to get the placing down, because he is 3/10 of a second higher than the next D2 driver of Jared Swain. So a nice little bit of a gap there. 10 minutes left in this practice session then, and then we will be getting into qualifying. Qualifying, just like official races, is only 2 laps long, and they're not going to have too much time to do that, as it looks like Brendan Lobb has received a black flag. He has, so he will need to serve that penalty. Do you know what? Since Jukovic put in that fast lap earlier on, no one's really gone faster than it since then. Brendan Lobb is down pit lane, so he is serving that penalty. Quite a few drivers out on track at the moment. I'd love to be able to see them all, but unfortunately we can't watch all 26 drivers at the same time. A nice full field of drivers in this event. Of course, in the heat races, the top 8 get points. In the feature races, top 12. Those bonus points goes for anyone on the lead lap. So you can be outside of the top 12, but still get the bonus points in the feature races. Same with the heat races. If you're outside the top 8, you can still get those bonus points for heat races, but only if you are on the lead lap. Fastest lap once again goes to Jukovic. He obviously heard me saying that he hasn't improved on his time since earlier on, and he's just gone faster with a 1:36.395, a very strong lap time indeed. There's still an opportunity to jump into the survey if you are signed up for the league today and you want to get yourselves out on track. We're going to go jump and have a look at the fastest D2 driver right now, Travis Lingscombe Hatfield. He's out on track, and it looks like he's getting some nice fiction here from the 220 ahead. The 220 being Neil Rocks, who's 5th overall in Division 1 as well, and Travis Lingscombe goes through. So Lingscombe Hatfield is doing a great job with his machine right now, and I think he is going to be a real competitor in that D2, especially here at Laguna Seca. It'll be interesting how the season goes on. Names that I think will really be finding their way to the top alongside Jukovic. You've got Mark Codd, very good fast driver as well. You've got Mohamed El Harari, who is an extremely fast driver that I've seen, especially in the Clios. So that would be fun to see him racing around here as Harry Fox goes into 4th. You've got Timothy Rosenfeld, very good driver, recently onto iRacing, but has just been flying up through the ranks there. He's in 7th right now. You've got Riley Downey in there, Richard Dempsey, some really big names that you see around within the whole league. Then you've got Ian Lane, league organiser. He's all the way down in 19th position at the moment, but he is looking like he is going to try and maybe find some extra time. 1.7 seconds off of Jukovic at the moment. That's only 1.3 off of Codd. Mark Codd, second fastest in practice here, is 4 tenths off. Of course, this is just practice, so we could see completely different drivers up at the front. Are we just seeing drivers who are putting in fast laps right now, or are we seeing, and are we going to see new drivers up towards the front? Because there could be drivers here who are taking it a bit easier, just seeing whether they can run consistently for a few laps rather than just putting in the fastest lap, trying to keep their true pace hidden, perhaps. 27 drivers in the server. This is a nice full league race to start season number 2 of the Clios. We're 5 minutes away from qualifying and seeing how the first grid is going to line up. Now, as I say, all your odd numbers are going to be racing first in Heat 1, all your even numbers in Heat 2 before we see them all out on track for feature race 1, and then that invert for feature race 2. A mix of lengths as well. 10 minutes for your heat races, 15 for your first feature, and 20 for your second feature. As Neil Rocks heads through turn number 1, we're going to see if we can get some information on his lap time. Here he is. That was actually turn number 2. I do apologise. We just heard him into turn 3. An 18.2 in the opening sector for him there, as Ian Lane, he heard me. He heard me saying that he was all the way down the order. He moves into 3rd position, just a 10th off of Mark Codd, half a 10th off of Milan Jukovic, who has just done a fantastic job with his time here in practice. But qualifying is where it counts. Qualifying is where it all matters. And it is going to be interesting to see who might just appear out of the woodwork from down below. As Lincoln Hatfield still the highest in Division 2, but in 10th position right now, a second off of Jukovic. So that's the sort of division spread that you'd expect to see, is about a second between D1 and D2. That's what we can see there. Luis Cardona puts in a lap time right at the back, not a representative lap, so he'll be wanting to go again as he's 10 seconds off the pace down there. Up towards the final turn, here is Neil Rocks. He's going to come up to the line to see if he can improve on his time of a 137.157. It's a 137.5. It is not an improvement on his lap time, but he's going to go again. Is it just running consistent laps here? Look how wide he goes, and he is off at turn number 1. He decides he doesn't want to do any more of that lap. As here is Stephen Hurd. He comes through turn number 5 now, with 3 minutes left to go in practice. I'm very excited to see how these sessions are going to go, because the way that the heats work, it's smaller grid out when you're out there, but it means that when you get into the feature races, you have more chance moving up. Because if you started in 26th position, well, you're going to start 13th in your heat race. You only need to move up 5 positions, and you're up 10 for your grid position in the feature race. So moving up positions in your heat races are really going to help you in feature race 1. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. On board with Stephen Hurd, the number 1 machine coming through the final turn. A little bit of Kipsy Ritter on the racing line there. It's going to make him a little bit slower, but I'm sure it wouldn't have affected him too much as he comes across the line. It is an extremely slow lap of a 150, not a representative time at all from Stephen Hurd. But he is going to go again with 2 minutes left in practice here. Qualifying, like I said, just 2 laps for each of the drivers. So it's going to be interesting to see how each of them do. Up towards turn number 3. That will be an invalidated lap there for Stephen Hurd in qualifying, and that what really matters, especially here at Laguna Seca. It's very easy to run just that little bit wide, invalidate your lap, and then you're going to have to go again. And with only 2 opportunities, liking you officials, you're going to want to get a good time in to get yourself further up the order. And really, if you want the best opportunity possible going into the heat races for your feature order, really you're going to want to try and get into heat 1 and try to win heat number 1, because that will get you pole position in the first feature. If you win heat number 2, that'll get you second position, and they'll alternate like that. So that's how it works with the gridding of feature race 1. Feature race 2, get ready for that invert. It's going to be a lot of craziness up and down the field, to say the very least. We're going to see a lot of incidents, And because of how short the races are, I don't know how many replays we're going to get whilst we are live, but we're going to try and catch as much as we possibly can. As practice is coming to a close here at Laguna Seca for round number 3, as Stephen Hurd goes into 3rd position, which is exactly what he wants. This is Mohamed El Hariri heading up towards turn number 11. That's the final turn there. He's 6th position in the session so far, 7 tenths off. Mark Codd is now only 2.5 tenths off of Jukovic. He found some time at the end there. Qualifying is going to be interesting to see if Jukovic can replicate his extremely fast lap, or whether we're going to see some other drivers towards the front. Zach Thibault with a black flag there, but that was cleared right at the end because we are ended with our practice session, and we are going to be going into our qualifying session. 7 minutes on the clock as drivers are going to head out onto the circuit to get their times in to see who will be starting from pole position in Heat 1 and who will be starting from pole position in Heat 2. We are watching Stephen Hurd come out of the pit lane at the moment. He was the driver that improved right at the very end to go into 3rd position. However, here is Milan Jukovic. He is Division 1 and was the fastest man in practice. Will he be able to replicate his time from practice here in qualifying? The number 4 machine, very bright freeway livery. I think that's going to be easy to spot. Some black flags already going out for Matt Gwilym and Neil Trotter for speeding in pit lane or an unsafe pit exit. Obviously, you got to stay within pit lane, which goes all the way to the exit of turn number 2, where you enter back on after the Andretti hairpin. Some sector time's been put in, but obviously that's just outlaps at the moment. I'm interested to see how Jukovic does, so we are going to watch him here on the outlap, and then we'll ride on board with him once he gets onto his qualifying lap. And I think he's going to be interested to see some of his inputs as well, so we'll get those up for you so you can see how Jukovic is heading around the Laguna Seca circuit. He comes up to the drop at the corkscrew, about the same height as a 30-story building is what I was told. I don't think that's quite accurate. I'm sure it was a little bit less than that. But here comes Jukovic up towards the final turn, so we are going to ride on board, and we're going to get some details. We can see how he is driving this lap with his pedals there on the bottom for you, and his gearing as he comes up towards turn number 1, because there's a little kink straight after the line. Here's turn number 1 as we then head down towards turn 2 of the Andretti hairpin, keeping it tight to the inside, then pushing it very wide, keeping 2 wheels on the circuit though, right up to that sausage curb on the inside, keeping it extremely tight there over the second sausage curb. Is that the way to do it then? Grip yourself even tighter than we've been seeing before. Through turn number 3 here. Keep it on the curbing. Don't want to go onto the gravel. Into turn number 4. Again, pushing onto the curbing, staying off the gravel. Going to go up towards turn number 5. Second left-hander on the corner, on the circle. Third left-hander technically, but it is the second one that you really feel. And this is the corner where you can really throw it away before the corkscrew. Turn number 6, running right over that curbing. Gets over the inside curbing, pushes it as hard as he can. Up towards the corkscrew now. Turn 7 is this right kink. Turn 8 is the corkscrew itself. Onto the brakes. Gets it to the inside. A little bit of a correction on his wheel there. Turning right to go left as he comes through rainy curve of turn number 9. Don't want to push it too hard here and get your lap invalidated just yet. Fastest lap on the board for Stephen Hurd. He goes fastest overall so far as Jukovic goes up towards the final turn of turn 11. He tucks it in and he's going to come across the line. Where is that going to put Jukovic on our grid order? It puts him into P1 It is the fastest out on track for Jukovic right now. But there are still some very good lap times being put in at the moment, up and down the field. Some Division 1 drivers at the moment, well, all Division 1 drivers apart from Westman, ahead of Division 2 drivers. Only 2 Division 2 drivers have got a lap in at the moment. Is that because these drivers have invalidated their laps on their first lap? I think that might be the case. Mark Codd, student driver, got to be careful of him. Of course, he's up in 5th position, so maybe not so much of a student, but he is in, well, 5th position, sorry. So he is going to come up to the corkscrew, see if he can improve on his lap right now, as he is running looks like quite a nice lap right now as he heads up towards turn number 9. I will learn my turn numbers here at Laguna Seca. Up towards turn 10, getting as tight as you can. Not wanting to push it too wide, but pushing it straight to the curbing. No gravel on the circuit here in qualifying. So Mark Codd's going to come around the final turn and see if he can go forwards as Matt Malone goes to P4 and knocks Codd down to 6th. Will Mark Codd find any time? Harry Fox goes up to 5th, and Mark Codd does not improve on that second lap time. Zach Thibault moves up into 16th position. Some drivers here. We got Clayton McBuller without a lap time on the board right now. As a fastest lap once more for Milan Jukovic, he goes even further out the front as McBuller goes into 7th position. Are there some more drivers that are? Ayala not out on track. We got Neil Trotter. I believe he might be Division 2, but it was very much a late entry for Neil Trotter, which is why he has not been given a division that we can see here. Luis Cardona is in 25th position and gets a lap time on the board there, as we are just waiting for drivers to finish their last lap time. 44 seconds on the board. I think that is all we are going to see, and that is going to be the end of qualifying. So let's have a look at how qualifying is going to line up then. So all of our odd numbers are going to be starting in heat race 1. So that's Milan Jukovic will be starting pole in heat race 1. All of your even numbers are heat race 2. So therefore Stephen Hurd will be starting heat race 2 from pole. Then you got Mohamed El Harari, Matt Malone, Harry Fox, Neil Rocks, Clayton McBuller, Mark Codd, Bob Poplet and Ian Lane are your top 10, and therefore your top 5 in each of the heats. We won't run through the rest of the field just yet because we are getting ourselves ready for heat race 1. 15 drivers are going to be in this heat race. Jukovic from pole. El Hayari will be next to him in 2nd. 3rd position will be Harry Fox. 4th position will be Clayton McBuller, followed by Bob Poplet. Richard Dempsey in 6th, Kevin Anfield in 7th, Travis Linscombe Hatfield in 8th, Matt Gwilym will start in 9th, followed by Zach Thibault in 10th, Jared Swain will start 11th, Brendan Lobb will start 12th, Luis Cardona will start 13th, Zach Gold will start 14th, and Neil Trotter will start at the back of the field in heat race number 1. As we have got just about a minute until the driver's grid. So this is a 10-minute race. It's nice and quick, just half of your field out. Within that 10 minutes, we expect about 7 laps of racing. You can see most of the field here lined up and gridded. We are just waiting for all of them to get down on track and for this race to get underway. And for the first race of season 2 to be green, it is Jukovic who will start this one from 1st position. As we can see them there, 10 minutes on the board. We are waiting for it to go green.
Green flag.
We are green and we are away here for heat race number 1. All of the drivers heading up towards turn number 1. Here they come. as they go, looking like they're going to try and go single file at the front. No, they're going to go 2 by 2 at the front as well. But it is going to be Jukovic up the inside who's going to hold it side by side for El Harari and Fox behind. It looks like they've just been able to settle themselves down enough as we come through turn number 4 and up towards turn number 4, and El Harari holds on to second ahead of Harry Fox. Some battling going on behind here. Side by side, we've got Dempsey going on the rear end of the number 727 machine, but he is stuck on the outside of another driver as well as we head up towards turn number 6. And he's going to be side by side. The 36 gets the curbing. He settles back down. Kevin Anfield settles the car in 7th position as we head up towards the corkscrew. He is no longer settled as he's got Lincoln Hatfield up his inside. Hatfield gets it and he makes the move. Hatfield not wanting to have a D2 driver next to him because he's just put Matty Grill as well between himself and Zach Thibault, who is second in Div 2. Up towards the final turn we go. There is the order after the first lap of this 10-minute race. Zach Thibault drops behind Matt Willem as he tried to make the move on the outside, couldn't quite make it stick there, and he is going to step behind. Matt Grill is going to be on the inside of Travis Lincoln Hatfield here up towards turn number 2. He gets it slightly later on the brakes. Looks like he's going to try and keep it through. And it looks like he does. Up towards the front though, there's already an 8/10 gap between Jukovic and El Harari. So there is a nice gap there for Jukovic to take the win if he can keep it going the way that it is. As it looks like some of my ordering was wrong here. I do apologise, my live timing decided to mess up a little bit as there is more battles going on here. Matt Quill goes up the inside of Jared Swain. There's contact between Swain and Thibault. Zach Thibault moves to the inside and it looks like he's going to hold that position for P10, and he does as he is up into 10th position now. A fantastic move there, taking advantage of a little bit of contact. These cars, they take a bit of bumping and banging. That is how you race these Clios, and that was some fantastic racecraft to take advantage of that. Lincoln Hatfield leading the Division 2 category. Leading the Division 1 category is Milan Jukovic. You can see that little bit of a gap to El Harari and Fox as Thibault and Swain are side by side up towards the final turn. Thibault keeps it ahead of Swain. This is for position 2 in the Division 2 category here in this heat, as the Division 2 leader Lincoln Hatfield is cleared by 2 drivers ahead and 7th overall. Fastest lap on the board there that we saw, but you can see on the left hand side a lot of invalid laps at the moment. Not many drivers have actually put in a valid racing lap so far this race. Zach Thibault holding on to Jared Swain at the moment. Intervals ranging between about a second and just a couple of tenths like here as Brendan Lobb moves behind Zach Gould in 12th and 13th. As Buller tries to catch up to Poplet, can't quite do it. I'm really trying to keep an eye on these intervals between each of the drivers because there's so many of them. And it's just a couple of tenths. You don't know who's going to be able to make moves here. The thing from Hatfield has Kevin Anfield going off the circuit just behind him. He gets it back on track. Remember, if drivers can do this without any incidents, they do get an extra bonus point. And that is just 1 bonus point for the heat races. The drivers with 0x that finish on the lead lap will get that bonus. Now here I think that bonus is going to be easy to get for staying on the lead lap because it is such a long lap. Buller was quite close behind Poplet through turn number 9 of Rainy Curve, drops back a little bit through the final 2 turns, and now Richard Dempsey is on his rear. Lincoln Hatfield there as well as Kevin Anfield. Fastest lap on the board for Milan Jukovic, pulling away almost, well, over a second now, out in the lead ahead of El Harari So he is doing a great job right now. Lincoln Hatfield closes up to Dempsey. Dempsey closes up to McBooler. McBooler is going to have to try and defend as hard as he can because he's got a train of drivers behind him. The moment one of them moves him, he is going to lose a number of positions here. We're about halfway through this heat race. 5 minutes down, 5 minutes to go. We're on lap number 4 of the 7 laps expected. We're going through turn number 5 now. Dempsey is losing a little bit of time on that opening part of the lap to Bob Poplar. Poplar gaining about 0.6 of a second over Dempsey. Dempsey, though, not able to gain over Lincoln Hatfield in the same way. Anfield off once again at the around the outside of turn number 6. Said that was such an easy corner to throw it off at. He's proving it there. Dempsey will get an off track for that. Possibly a slowdown. I think he's kept it enough on the circuit, though. He has dropped off a little bit again from McBooler, though, as it looks like Swain and Tebow have swapped positions once again in the background, and once again Anfield off the circuit, that time through the exit of turn number 10. Lincoln Hatfield trying to gain something over Richard Dempsey here. He's just not able to do it right now. Over the line they go. And that is very clear for McBooler. Dempsey now is the one under attack rather than the one attacking. Anfield wanting to get past Lincoln Hatfield, not in the same division here. So even though Hatfield could move further up the positions in this race, he's not gaining any additional points by doing so. He is winning Division 2 at this point quite clearly over the other drivers with about a 3-second lead to the next driver in his class. Both Dempsey and Hatfield run slightly onto the gravel there. That could have been a 1X. There's contact. Dempsey wiggles his bum, but through goes Lincoln Hatfield. Up the inside, they're side by side. Dempsey is not giving up with that yet, but he's going to have to. Lincoln Hatfield moves into 6th. Dempsey moves down to 7th overall, but Dempsey's coming back at it. He doesn't care that Lincoln Hatfield is in Division 2. He wants that 6th position overall, and he goes up the inside of the corkscrew. A little bit of a lockup. They're both onto the gravel with 2 tyres. They're going to bring that up, and here comes Anfield. Anfield up the inside of Lincoln Hatfield. He does it as Poplar moves to try and go for a move past McBooler. Well, McBooler, sorry, trying to go for a move past Poplar here. Up towards the final turn, and he does it. McBooler is up the position as Anfield goes up the inside of Lincoln Hatfield. They are still side by side, and that has brought Matt Gwilym back into this fight. He's in 9th position. He is the back of the D1 class right now, but he is going to want to try and get past Anfield. Anfield is up the inside. McBooler holds on Poplar, but Anfield is up the inside of Lincoln Hatfield here for P number 7 overall. And he looks like he's going to just try and force him slightly onto the gravel. He's now on the outside line. I'm sure that Hatfield is going to try and return the favour. No, they settle themselves down. They're okay. It is going to be Dempsey leading Lincoln Hatfield, leading Anfield. It's the same order with those 3 that it was before, but it doesn't feel like it. So much happened. McBooler did make his way past Poplar, and he made that stick through the final turn. 55 seconds. Next lap will be white flag, I'm sure, as McBooler is going to try and hold this position. Will Dempsey be able to actually get into a fight this time with the drivers ahead of him? Lincoln Hatfield holding up Anfield and Gwilym behind. Gwilym is going to take full advantage of that, though, because he is now right on the rear of Kevin Anfield. Could try and make a move there. Dempsey is going to go on side of the line as that goes up the inside. Lincoln Hatfield out of the corkscrew. It's not going to be enough. He drops. He loses time. It looks like he may have had a slowdown because he slowed extremely through the exit of the corkscrew there. Dempsey still on the rear end. Here goes Anfield. He tried just a bit too hard into the final turn, and he throws it off the track. That promotes Matt Gwilym, who has got past Lincoln Hatfield on the exit of the final turn up towards turn number 2. But here goes Dempsey. He looks to the inside of Poplar. No, he doesn't. He's going to go for the better exit, maybe some better speed if he can. This is the battle for 4th position led by McBoola right now. They're almost 10 seconds off of the leading 3 drivers. This is the last lap, and it is only the first of 4 races that we are going to be doing in the Clio League today. Both Lincoln Hatfield and Swaim. Sorry, no, that was both. That was Matt Gwilym and Lincoln Hatfield off in the background, both slightly wide through turn number 4. Can Richard Dempsey do anything here on Bob Poplar or Clayton McBoola? It looks like McBoola's going to pull just enough of a gap, but here goes Dempsey to the outside of Poplar. They're side by side up to the corkscrew. Who's going to break later? There's contact, a huge amount of contact. Poplar's off, and here comes Matt Gwilym. Matt Gwilym goes through. Dempsey drops back to 6th. But Jukovic, he is through the final corner. And from pole, here in Heat 1, he wins ahead of Hellueri and Harry Fox. McBoola's going to get it, but Dempsey is trying his hardest to defend 6th from Travis Lincoln Hatfield. And he does it. And is he going to do it across the line? It's a side-by-side sprint. The photo finish across the line. But it looks like Dempsey held it over Hatfield at the very end there. That was an extremely close race, as everybody is going to need to buy a new car for Feature Race 1. But that is Heat Race 1 complete, and we will be resetting ourselves and getting ourselves ready for Heat number 2, because we are just getting started. Let's have a quick show of the results there from Heat Race number 1. It was Jukovic leading the way ahead of Hellueri. Harry Fox came home in 3rd ahead of Clayton McBoola and Matt Gwilym. Richard Dempsey came home in 6th. Travis Lincoln Hatfield came home 7th overall, 1st in class. Jared Swaim 8th overall, 2nd in class. Bob Public came home in 9th. Kevin Anfield in 10th position. 11th position was Zach Tebow, followed by Zach Gould, Brendan Lobb, Neil Trotter, and Lewis Cardona. And that is Heat 1 complete. But we've got Heat number 2 coming up. And guess what? They're getting themselves gridded now. Starting on pole position in this one is going to be Stephen Hurd. Matt Malone will start this one from 2nd position. Neil Rocks will start from 3rd. Mark Codd from 4th. 5th position will be Ian Lane. Timothy Rosenfeld from 6th. Michelle Hansvich will be from 7th. Riley Downey from 8th. But we're going to get started here as we are green. And that is someone not off the line. Slugger is stopped on the line there. Slugger not moving off of the line. It looks like that was Timothy Rosenfeld stuck on the line. But up towards turn number 1, and Stephen Hurd is going to be side by side. Matt Malone goes up the inside. Can he make that stick for the lead here? He's on the outside of turn number 3. He drops behind. He's going to have to leave Hurd to the 1st position spot for now. Neil Rocks just behind, as this is Timothy Rosenfeld. He has finally got started, but he is down to the back of the field by a long way. It is now just clean laps for him to get that extra bonus point. Side by side here, it is JC Cook having to let Riley Downey through. Downey makes his way through, but has now got John C. Cook looking to get through, and he can't quite do it. He's going to have to stick behind for now, but off track goes Riley Downey. He's wobbling, he saves it. He gets it straight after a series of wobbles, but he is now behind John Cook and down to 7th position, as most of this grid is actually Division 1 drivers. Not a lot of Division 2 here, so every position is going to count for your Division 1 drivers. Every position counting. Here's Matt Malone. He's in 2nd. looking to the inside of Stephen Hurd for the race lead out the final turn. He can't quite do it. Now he's got Neil Rocks with some good pace just behind him, and Rocks is now on the outside of Malone through turn number 1, and he's going to be on the outside of Malone up to Andretti hairpin turn number 2. Malone's going to look for a later break. He does so, and he gets it positioned just perfectly to block off Neil Rocks. Almost went for the attack on Hurd, couldn't quite switch it around for that move, so he is currently still in second position. Not too many positions swapped around here. In fact, that would be a great thing to see if we can see the position changes here. Let's have a look if I can show you that. Apparently that doesn't want to work either. Excellent, good to know. As we come through turn number 5, Neil Rocks still on the back of Malone for second position, but Downey gets back past Cook in the same place that he went for that move before, and he moves into 6th, and here comes Cridland now. He's going to be on the inside of Cook up towards the corkscrew if he can get the overlap. He decides not to risk it. He backs out, as that is Ian Lane off at the corkscrew. Ian Lane throws it off the track and will lose a podium position chance here. He's down to 5th, trying to defend from Riley Downey now. He's able to do so. Matt Malone has got a little bit of a gap back to Neil Rocks now, so he's going to try and hold that, as this is the lead of a train of drivers right now. Ian Lane ahead of Riley Downey. Following him is John Cook and then Matty Cridland. And you can see Matty Cridland and Cook side by side. Cridland up the inside here, up towards turn number 2. Is he going to be able to go up the inside of Downey as well? No, he doesn't, but he is still side by side with Cook. Can Cridland get the position on Cook? Yes, he can. Cridland in the 371 moves past the 303 of Cook and is up the order, which is just what he wants to see, as Cook is going to be all over the rear end once more. Some position battling going behind. There's contact. The 420 and more contact. The 9 involved. A huge hit for Richard Edgar into that wall. A massive shame there for him, as we go back to this train of drivers with Cridland behind Downey, as Rosenfield moves up into 13th with Edgar out of this race, as it is going to be side by side once more, but it is Cook ahead of Cridland. Oh, that looked like it was about to be a love tap with Cridland, just giving Cook enough space here. Cook getting the slipstream again in these cars, that limited slipstream you get in the Clios from Downey. Will be using that to try and go for the move, and that's what he does. Around the outside, turns towards the inside. Can't do it because Riley's going to defend that line, but it gives Cook the inside of turn number 13. And here comes Cridland as well, deciding to try and take full advantage of Cook's move past Downey. Cridland looked to the inside, couldn't quite do it. He's going to have lost a little bit of time there. Matt Malone puts the fastest lap time in the session, and he's in P number 2 right now. He's just a few tenths off of Stephen Hurd, as Downey is in the middle of this battle. John Cook ahead, Matty Cridland behind, as he goes through turn number 3. That is an extremely tight fight. It's still very tight at the front, as that was Michael Handrick. Michael Handrick off. Michael Handrick off. I will get names pronounced right in about 3 years, as Matt Malone is on the back of Hurd here. Up towards turn number 6. It's a couple of tenths between them. Hurd's got some nice driving lines at the moment. Right now, Malone's not able to do anything with it. Lane on the back of Handrick here, after Handrick went off at turn number 4. That Matt Malone face must be extremely daunting to see in the rear view mirror, as Lane all over the rear of Handrick. Objects in your mirror, they are closer than they appear. The same goes in iRacing. No matter how far they look, they are a lot closer than they appear, and Ian Lane is trying to get even closer right now to Hansvik and see if he can make the move back into 4th position, because Lane threw his own positioning off at the corkscrew a few laps to go. 3 minutes left on the clock. Lane is behind. Is he going to go for the outside or the inside? He goes for the inside line. Hansvik brakes a little bit later. Lane brakes a little bit earlier. But there you go. That's the late braking from Hansvik. A lockup. Lane's up his inside. They're side by side. Hansvik holds it just ahead. Lane's going to have to wait behind for now and go for another opportunity in a short moment. But he is going to have to wait for the time being, because it's not just yet. Matt Malone now 7/10 off of Stephen Hurd. Hurd saw Matt's fastest lap and has responded to it. Is there possibly a small mistake from Matt Malone at some point? It looks like there was a lockup from Hurd and it forced Malone onto a slightly wider line there out at front. As this continues to be the battle, Cook, Downey, Cridland at the rear end of this right now. That's Downey ahead of him, coming up towards the corkscrew, trying to find a way to just unsettle Downey ahead, as that is side by side between Hansvik and Lane as they come through turn number 9 into 10. Hansvik holds the inside. Lane's on the outside. It's going to turn to the inside line at the final turn. Hansvik brakes a bit earlier, trying to go for the switchback. It doesn't work. Lane has got that position, but we are still going to have a couple more laps to go. As we go on with 1.5 minutes to go, we're expecting another 2 laps of this race. So Ian Lane checkers, he is going to have to try and hold it in 4th position. Lock up from Hansvik behind, almost into the back of Lane, as that's Downey wide. And he is allowing Cridland on his inside. It turns to the outside of turn 3. They're side by side. Who is going to come out on top? It's going to be Matty Cridland. Is it going to be Riley Downey? Downey is on the inside. He pushes Cridland all the way to the edge of the circuit. Cridland keeps it on though. Still side by side. Cridland is now going to have the inside line. Downey is surely going to have to hold this to him, hand this to him, and he does. But he tucks straight in. It looks like he might go for a move up towards turn number 6. No, he's sensible. He stays behind. He knows he's got another lap. Hansvik gets back past Lane up ahead. They're side by side. Lane on the outside. Hansvik on the inside of the corkscrew. That's a slide for Hansvik. He slides into Lane. And here comes Cook in the middle, making it 3 wide. Hansvik moves up to 4th. Cook is in 5th. Lane in 6th. Lane really did not have anywhere to go, but it's racing. That's how it goes. Cook to the inside of Hansvik. Hansvik on the grass. So is Cridland behind. But through goes Cook and Lane. So now it is Cook in 4th, Lane in 5th, Hansvik in 6th, as that's another try from Downey to get the inside of Cridland, but he goes extremely deep. Cridland regains P7. Move up that order. Cook now just needs to defend from Ian Lane and Hansvik, really, unless they slow each other down enough for Cridland and even Downey to catch back up into this fight. I doubt it though. Hansvik, Downey and Edgar all without any valid laps in this race. As out the inside goes Lane through turn number 5. He's going to be there into 6th. There is Hansvik trying to get to the inside as well. He can't do it. Lane touches the gravel. Cook is behind in 5th. Hansvik in 6th, and that has allowed Cridland to get into this fight as well, and Cridland is gonna go for the move on Hansvik. Can't quite do it. They are still watching Ian Lane and Cook though. This is the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. Off the track ever so slightly goes Cook, but I think they're gonna hold it. Here comes Hurd. to win Heat 2. Matt Malone to take P2. Neil Rocks in third. But in that fight for fourth, Ian Lane is going to come home in fourth. Ahead of Cook, Hansvik, Cridland and Downey. Risto Westman coming home in ninth, followed by Anthony Hilton. Timothy Rosenfeld, after not getting off the line, will come round the final corner to take home 11th and hopefully a clean race and a bonus point for him. Edward Ayala comes home 12th, followed by Mark Codd. And out of the race was Richard Edgar. What a fantastic end to that one. Heat 2 is done. And we will be getting ourselves ready for feature race number 1. All drivers out on track 29 getting ready for this one. Just needing a drink there before we continued. So much happening in these events. It's why I absolutely love them. They're absolutely fantastic. As here we go on the line once more. Drivers are gridding. We are going to be getting ourselves ready for feature race 1. Full points on offer. 25 for the win here. 2 bonus points for an incident-free race. 15 minutes in this one. 29 drivers. We're getting ourselves ready for feature race number 1 here.
Green, green, green.
We are green and we are away here at Laguna Seca for the first feature race of the season as 29 Clios head up towards turn number 1. I just can't even keep an eye on everything that's happening. The good news is for Jukovic, he has held on to P number 1 ahead of El Hieri. Heard into third past Matt Malone as they come through up to turn number 5. There is Jukovic, some battling going on in the background, and a lot of drivers involved in this. There's Timothy Rosenfeld involved in that. Zick Tebow, there's some contact. They've all settled themselves down though. If you complete this one clean, you get 2 bonus points if you finish on the lead lap. But all of the drivers heading through in this 15-minute race, they seem to have sorted themselves down as they head up through turn number 6. Right now, Matt Malone has lost it to Harry Fox as well. Has not had the best of starts. Riley Downey down to 20th, trying to settle himself down as well. With cars ahead, his Hansvik is off, and the corkscrew. After a great race in Heat 2, Hansvik is off. He is side by side with Anthony Hilton. Hilton gets that position and will move up into 17th place. But at the end of lap number 1 here is Jukovic, your leader. Now all of the drivers as they head through, as they try to settle themselves down. Some lots on. Oh, it's around there goes. There's a contact in the background. As that is, I believe that's Mark Codd getting involved. More cars in. I think that was Hansvik as well involved in that one. A lot of cars involved and pulling over to the side here. They could be in the feature race to invert, but it's a random number. Top 15 are definitely inverted. The rest of the field, it depends on what number is randomly generated and selected in the feature race to invert. Kevin Anfield gets past Matt Quill. Matt Quill actually is slightly wide here. Got passed by Lincecum Hatfield. And here he comes up the inside, trying to defend Riley Downey. Downey gets it on the outside. And after winning Heat 1 for Division 2, Lincecum Hatfield, Jared Swaim has moved past into the lead of D2. He's 12th overall as he gets up towards the braking zone of the corkscrew as Clayton Bula goes slightly wide. He's got Ian Lane with him as they're side by side through turn number 9 up towards turn 10. Ian Lane goes to the inside. There was a little bit of a nudge there, but that was definitely echoed. More contact, and that is a big crash. Ian Lane, huge wreck. He's going to turn it around. But look at that damage on the front end. A lot of cars involved in that one. As this is El Hilary, because Stephen Hurd moves into second position as Harry Fox drops down to 5th behind Nat Malone. But Jukovic still holds the lead of this race right now. Some really close battles up and down the field. Harry Fox is still right on the rear end of Matt Malone here, and it looks like Fox has got a teammate of Neil Watts just behind him. Poplet falling down the order as well. Look at that major damage at the front. So Poplet, the 727 machine, has had some issues as Fox is past Malone through turn number 5. Malone is going to try and buy that back, but he is in a whisk telemetry sandwich right now. Off the circuit goes Fox, getting the gravel there. Is Malone going to try and go to the inside? You can see he was trying to, but Fox just holding that inside line. Not going to be able to do anything just there. A very close fight here for 4th position, as El Hilary is not too far behind Hurd either, so there could be a battle going on for P2 very shortly. Ian Lane gets by Poplet, but there is definitely damage for a lot of cars towards the back of the field here in feature race 1. Again, depending on the randomness of the invert, that could be a really good job for some of those drivers. They'll start further off in feature 2. Not as many points on offer, but still some good points, bearing in mind we've had a bad race number 1. This is Harry Fox leading Matt Malone for P number 4. Malone trying to figure out which way to go. Completely off the circuit into turn number 1 to try and get the tighter line. He has got the slightly tighter line, but nothing he can do with that. El Hilary is up the inside there. Sorry, El Hilary, sorry, moves down, sorry, I just saw it flick ahead. I was looking at something else and I got the names mixed up. Matt Malone holds on because Harry Fox got that inside tighter line. Nothing can do that. That's Dempsey in the background. He is ahead of Cook and Quidland at the moment. Obviously, great fighting in heat race number 1 for Dempsey. Great fighting in heat race number 2 for Cook and Quidland involved in that one. Malone dropping off the Fox ever so slightly here. Neil Rocks getting onto the gravel slightly there. Will he try and make a move through? We're less than 10 minutes into this left in this race. We're going to coming up to about the halfway point very, very soon. 10 laps expected in this one. Zach Timo gets past Zach Gould, so does Richard Edgar, and off the circuit ever so slightly. 3 cars all in a train here. This is Dempsey leading Cook, leading Quidland. We've seen Quidland and Cook fighting it out already on track. Dempsey, he was fighting out with a different group of drivers in heat race 1, but he's involved in this fight now. Through the final turn they go and up towards the timing line with 8 minutes left on the clock. Dempsey in 7th, Cook in 8th, Quidland in 9th. Jared Swain not too far behind. He's leading that Division 2. Zach Tebow is 3rd in Division 2. Just so you can see where the top 3 are, we've got Travis Lingham Hatfield in 12th position in Division 2. Anfield gets past Spain for 10th position. Overall, doesn't affect the class order. However, it does put Hatfield right into touching distance with Swain. And that's going to be interesting because this right here, this is Hatfield, driver ahead of him is Swain. That's the lead in Division 2. So even though it's a mix of drivers right now, it is the lead in Division 2 that they are going for right now. Up towards turn number 6. Not going to be able to do anything here as Neil Trotter has been down pit lane for quite some time. It looks like he is going to be making his way out of pit lane here. 7 minutes and 22 seconds. Stationary. He is out of pit lane. Travis does Linksome Hatfield, who's got Matt Gwilym now going for him on the exit of the corkscrew. Matt Gwilym goes really wide though onto the gravel, won't be able to do anything with that. This is Matt Malone. He has pulled away from Neil Rocks, only half a second from Harry Fox. But this is the fight Dempsey, Cook and Cridland we were watching before. Westman gets past Zach Gould, who has been slowly moving down the order. Here comes Ian Lane. Ian Lane with only part of his car still out on the track at the moment. But he's in 21st position in class. Trying to work it out because my classes aren't working. I can't tell you exactly, but I think he's about 13th or 14th in class. Riley Downey moves up past Jared Swain for 13th, which gives Hatfield a great chance here because Swain looks like he's had some sort of issue to fall that far down the order out in the lead. This is Cridland still on the rear end of Cook. There's just so much going on up and down the field. It is so hard to keep an eye on all of it. But right now, Cridland chasing down Cook, Cook chasing down Dempsey. Keeping an eye on the gaps. This is definitely the closest train of cars. At the moment, bit of a slide there for Cridland, but he is going to hold it. Not the battle I wanted to show you. This is the battle that I wanted to show you. It is the battle for 7th position. It's Dempsey, Cook, Cridland. That's the battle that is happening right now. And this is Cook in the middle of it. The blue machine. He's got the WSK drive behind him, the Formula Llama car in the middle, and the Dempsey 151 car out at front. It's through the final turn and up the inside. Tries Cridland. He tries to make the move on the inside of John Cook. He can't quite make that move. He's going to have to stay behind for now. But it is Dempsey, Cook, Cridland in 7th, 8th and 9th position in this fight right now. Keeping an eye on gaps. It's an even gap of 6/10 between Fox and Malone and Rocks. So that fight for P5 is stable. Stephen Hurd only about a second off of Jukovic here. So could we see Hurd fight Jukovic for the lead? Jukovic winning heat race number 1, of course. Hurd finishing that race. Who won heat race number 2? I've forgotten now. It's all running away from me. There's so much happening in this race, in this series right now, but it is Dempsey leading the way. And actually this 3-car fight, they're slowing each other down just enough. They could invite Anfield, Linscombe Hatfield and Gwilym into this fight before the end of the race. 4 minutes left on the clock, about 3 more laps after this, as the gap is now only half a second between Jukovic and Hurd. Is something happening here? Out at the front, is Jukovic having some issues in the number 4 machine? Because the gap's closed down to half a second for the lead. If this is not a fastest lap for Hurd, I'm going to assume that Jukovic has had some sort of issues on this lap for the gap to have halved in that 1 lap alone. Alieri not too far back behind anyway, so he could try to get involved and make this a 3-car fight for the lead within the last 3 minutes here. But it is Jukovic leading Hurd, leading Herrera, Harry Fox in 4th, Linksome Hatfield and Gwilym fighting it out for 11th. But this is the fight that we're going to watch, because it is only 0.4 of a second between the leader and 2nd position here in feature race 1. This is max points. This is the most points you can get from winning a race all of the events, because feature race 2 is less points on offer for your position. There are more points on offer for hard charger and clean racing, of course. Jukovic off the circuit at turn number 6. Hurd is now only a couple tenths behind. The number 1 machine could try and go for the move on the number 4 machine and try to win this event. With 2 laps to go at the line, Jukovic has made a couple of errors in the last couple of laps. that are going to place him under a lot of pressure right now. Alhieri only a second behind Hurd, so we could see some sort of fight with him. A few changes back and forth down the order, but we are sticking with this with 2 laps to go. Penalty for Brendan Lobb. A shame for him. He was out of the points anyway in... no, he was in the points in D2, and he was actually quite nicely in the points. He was going to lose quite a few of those, as Hurd 3/10 behind Jukovic. Can he do something here? Jukovic's going to make another error. He is a very fast driver. We saw that. Qualified on pole. Won the heat race. It was only 10 minutes in the heat. This one's 15 minutes. Has the extra 5 minutes made it just that much harder for Jukovic, where he's not able to remain as consistent, pushing those tyres to the very limit possibly in the opening 10 minutes of the race. But it is now 4 tenths of a second, so there is some time being found by Jukovic this lap. They both keep it on track going through this time, so it's very possible that Jukovic is going to hold on without a fight from Hurd. But Hurd is going to do everything he can, I'm sure, to try and get even closer with 25 points on offer. It's 22 points on offer from where he sits in P2, but later in the season, those 3 points could mean the difference between winning the championship and not winning the championship. Up onto the brakes, into the final turn, as we head up to the final lap of this race. Drivers moving out of the way, drivers falling a lap down due to all of the issues that we have been having here today. And that means those drivers are not going to be getting any bonus points, even if they were having a clean race. None of them are, of course. It is a very difficult race for those at the back. A lot of contact, a lot of issues. 3/10 of a second between Jukovic and Hurd. A back marker ahead. Is he going to play into effect here? I believe that's Lewis Cardona. Is he going to move out of the way? It's lights flashing from Jukovic. He dives to the inside. Hurd follows him through. Cardona does stay out of the way. The gap 3/10 of a second. Closing down to 2.5 of a second. Down to 2/10 of a second before the brakes. Jukovic just stronger on the brakes into the corner, but Hurd finds the time on the exit. That's what you want. Heading up towards turn number 6. The gap is 1/10 of a second for the race lead here at Feature Race 1 in Season 2, Round 1 of the Renault Clio League. We come up towards the corkscrew. 2/10 of a second. Again, Hurd braking a little bit earlier. The gap increasing under the brakes. Will it close down again on the exit? Yes, but it doesn't close anywhere near as much. Jukovic just slightly faster through turn number 9, up towards turn 10. It looks like Milan Jukovic winning heat race number 1 from pole position, where he got 3 bonus points for pole. He would have got the 10 points for winning heat race 1. He will get 25 points for winning feature race 1. Stephen Hurd takes 2nd position, followed by Alhieri. Matt Malone crosses the line ahead of Harry Fox. How has he done that? Let's have a watch at the end here for the battle for P4. Malone behind Fox. He looks to the inside through the final turn. They're side by side. It's a sprint race to the line, but Matt Malone just has the speed and he takes 4th position. What a fantastic feature race 1. We've got another one coming your way, but let's have a look at how the results show for feature race 1. Milan Jukovic won that race by 3/10 of a second ahead of Stephen Hurd. Mohamed Alhieri finished in 3rd position ahead of Matt Malone, who just took it from Harry Fox. Neil Rocks finished in 6th ahead of Richard Dempsey. Matty Cridland took 8th ahead of John Cook. And Travis Lingscombe-Hatfield took 10th, winning division number 2 here in the feature race. Matt Gwilym took 11th ahead of Kevin Anfield. Jared Swain took 13th and 2nd in Division 2. Mark Codd took 14th, followed by Riley Downey. And Timothy Rosenfield recovering from his issues at the start of Heat 2. Zach Thibault took 3rd in Division 2 and 17th overall, followed by Richard Edgar, Ian Lane, Ristro Westman as your top 20. It was Anthony Hilton in 23rd, Zach Gould behind, followed by Bob Poplet and Clayton McBooler. And Edward Ayala was your last driver on the lead lap and eligible for any bonus points that they may get for clean racing. Lewis Cardona took 26th position, a lap down, followed by Brendan Lobb and Neil Trotter. And Michael Hanswick went out quite early on in that race, 8 laps down after we saw that rather large accident between them. But that is not it. We have completed 2 heat races. We have completed feature race 1. We have feature race 2 coming your way, which will be the reverse grid for your feature with some drivers inverted. So it's going to be interesting to see how the grid is going to line up for this one here at the WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. If you are enjoying this one, be sure to hit that follow button and you'll be notified when I go live. To catch up on all of these broadcasts and to watch all of the extended highlights, head over to the Beehive Bill YouTube channel, where they will all be available for you to watch within the week of the broadcast. The live streams will go up within 24 hours and the highlights will be up before the start of the next round. So you'll be able to catch all of those over on the YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe to that. If you want to join the Renault Clio League, all you need to do is join the league. If you join it, you can get started and race out on track 11 more rounds after this one. That means 44 more races, because we got 4 races every single round. So what a fantastic amount of broadcasting that I can do for you today. We are getting ourselves ready. Everyone has had a bit of a break. I'm going to take 2 seconds to have another drink while they start to grid up for feature race 2 and the final race of the day. We are about to be found out to the grid, and here we go. We've got the grid. Neil Trotter has been put at the front of the grid, which means it was the top 28 drivers reversed. Michael Hanswick was the only driver not included in the reverse grid, which means Neil Trotter will be starting our race from pole. Brendan Lobb from 2nd, 3rd position. Oh, as that is not at all. It is. There we go. Neil Trotter will be starting from pole, followed by Brendan Lobb. Cardona in 3rd, followed by Ayala, McBooler and Poplar. I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can. Gould will start from 7th, ahead of Hilton, ahead of Westman, Lane, Edgar and Thibault. 13th will be Rosenfield, followed by Downey, Codd, Swain, Anfield and Gwilym. Linksome Hatfield will start from 19th, ahead of Cook, ahead of Cridland, Dempsey, Watts and Fox. Malone will start from 25th, ahead of El Herrera, Hurd and feature race 1 winner Jukovic. Michael Hanswick, the only driver not to be involved in the invert, will be starting in 29th place. Drivers will be getting themselves ready. This is the 20-minute race. It's not as many points on offer, 20 points for a win here. However, 5 bonus points if you can keep it clean. You do. If you can't keep it clean, you get 2 bonus points if you have 4 or less incident points. Hard chargers, if you come in from the back, if you gain the most positions, you are going to get 6 points. If you get The second most positions gained, 4 points, and the third most position gains, you are going to get 2 points. We will have that up on the screen as well for you to see, so you can see who is going to be gaining those additional 6, 4, and 2 points respectively. But 20 minutes of our feature race, we are going to get underway. Neil Trotter from pole position.
Green.
The green lights are out. We are away here at Laguna Seca for feature race number 2 on our first inward. There all of the cars go up towards turn number 1. Can Trotter hold it up towards turn 1? 4, 5, 6 abreast into turn 1 they go. Car stopped on the outside line there, very slow. Car off as well into the gravel, couple of cars off, lots of cars off. There goes the bonus points for a lot of drivers. Half the field involved in that wreck at the back there. The leading drivers settle themselves down. Everyone else is going to have to recover. No bonus points on offer for any of them. Neil Trotter still is going to try and hold on. He's 4th right now though, because it is Poplet who has moved his way into the lead ahead of McBula. Zach Gold in 3rd position. Poplar and McDougal, both Division 1. They're going to want to take full advantage of that, as some of the drivers involved in that earlier wreck are coming through here. Some damage for each of them, some of them just trying to keep it clean. Rico Westman moves up into 4th as McBula goes up the inside of the corkscrew. He can't do it, so it's the outside. Poplar held the inside. Through goes Zach Gould. Gould leading division number 2 here in 2nd overall as we come to end lap number 1. In this 20-minute race, it'll be about 13 laps. A huge amount of shifting positions on this opening lap as McBula goes to the outside of Gould. He slides. I think there was some contact, but they hold on to it. McBula comes across and will hold on to 2nd. Drivers side by side here, almost 3 wide. That's Ian Lane involved in this one, as he is behind Neil Trotter and Anthony Hilton up towards turn number 2. They go. Lane on the outside. That was Westman going into Lane's path. Is Hilton now on the outside, Westman on the inside line, as we are going to see who is our hard chargers at the moment, and in an eligible point for those positions. Yubik, Alhieri and Malone. For some reason it does not want to tell us how many positions they've gained, but they have been gaining positions here. Ristro Westman is in 3rd position, fighting with Zach Gould. Zach Gould holds on again. Zach Gould's been doing good, Division 2 driver. He's managed to hold himself up there quite nicely. Neil Trotter started from 3rd position down to 9th at the moment. Travis Linton Hatfield, winner of Division number 2 in both his heat and in feature race 1, currently in 18th position. Dempsey loses position to Brendan Lobb. They're side by side. Lobb touches Dempsey. Dempsey holds it up the inside. Penalty for Brendan Lobb. Is that a slowdown, or is that already an incident limit for Brendan Lobb? I think that's already an incident limit. There's contact. Malone and Lobb go together. Lobb is off the circuit and is going to have to come down pit lane to serve that penalty. Matt Malone now behind Richard Dempsey. They're in 7th and 8th. Jukovic, the biggest charger so far, apparently according to that. I don't think that's the case. He certainly isn't. That is not showing correctly. And I think that is alongside the fact that I do not have working class systems for some reason. John Cook moves past Quicken and Ayala down towards the back. And Neil Rocks gets past Stephen Hurd. They're side by side in this 2x2 battle through turn number 2. They sort themselves out though. Neil Rocks ahead and around goes Kevin Anfield. Is that? No, who is that? That's Neil Trotter. Neil Trotter, the man who started this race in 1st, gets collected and turned on the exit of turn number 2 and is down. Ian Lane fighting Zach Gould here. Gould doing his hardest to hold on to any position he can. He's got Anthony Hilton now directly behind him. Hilton is a Division 2 driver as well, so Gould is going to want to hold that position. A huge amount of curbing there as Hilton onto the gravel is going to give Richard Dempsey an opportunity. to move to his inside. Malone pushing him. They're both going to go through. Both of them Division 1 get past Division 2 of Anthony Hilton. Zach Gould is going to like that fact because he has now got a couple of drivers between himself and the drivers behind. Some smoke for Risto Restman. He's down as a major wobble for Dempsey as he goes to the inside of Restman. Malone goes to the inside as well. A huge amount of curbing. It's going to be 3 wide. Malone settles down on the outside, though. He's on the outside of Westman here. Westman is doing his hardest to try and hold on to position. Being a D1 driver, these positions do matter to him. Dempsey is through, though. Malone is through as El Hueri is trying to move up the order as well. He is certainly another massive gainer in this race alongside Matt Malone. Those two, huge gainer, as that is Richard Dempsey. That was Richard Dempsey on the inside without anything on the front of his car. Richard Dempsey is down and will not be fighting anymore. Matt Malone now holds the lead in this huge train of drivers and will be trying to catch the drivers ahead. He is one of the fastest drivers out at the top. Of course, Poplar fell down the order in feature race 1 through some contact, so he could be holding on to a very solid lead here. But it is McBooler who is the fastest driver out on the track right now. He's in P2. This is Neil Rocks on the inside of Matt Gwilym. Matt Gwilym holds it, but here comes Zach Thibault in that black and yellow car, and Mark Codd goes to that inside line there as well. So that means that Matt Gwilym is going to be left behind, and that's contact. And that is going to be a huge slide for Neil Rocks. Somehow he stays ahead of the pack. I don't know how, but Matt Malone gets past Division 2 leader of Zach Gould, moves into P4 and will be hunting down Ian Lane. Al Hilary gets through up the inside of Gould as well. Is he going to be able to hold that position? He does in the number 15 car. He'll be chasing down Matt Malone. Lights flashing. He wants Malone to know he is there. He is ready to fight. Here comes Hilton. Hilton and Gould side by side. This is for the Division 2 lead. Hilton moves into the lead of the Division 2 class in 6th position. Zach Gould down to 2nd in the Division 2 class, but he has been looking really strong. Zach Thibault is 13th. He's in Division 2. And he's 3rd in Division 2. And that's how much there is between Hilton, Gould, and then Thibault down in 13th as well. So quite a big gap at the moment as we're coming up towards the halfway mark here in feature race number 2. Bob Poplet leads the way ahead of McBooler by half a second. Ian Lane is 6.5 seconds back in 3rd. A further 2 seconds back to Matt Malone and El Hilary. And El Herrera, which is fighting for 4th position in this one. The number 83 and the number 15 machine. Rosenfield out of this race, it looks like. Yes, he is, as is Downey. That is a shame for 27th and 28th position runners, both out of the race. El Herrera behind Matt Malone, battling away. If he can try and make the way up the inside. Some smoke from Ian Lane ahead. Some smoke there as well. El Hilary right on the rear end of Matt Malone. Are they going to work together? No, they're not. El Hilary moves to the left-hand side. Is Matt Malone going to fight for this position, or is he going to try and use Mohamed El Hilary to go up the order? He's very wide. He's let him through. Matt Malone is letting him through. He's going to try and work with him, I'm sure, to try and catch Ian Lane, who is leaving even more smoke down on the circuit at the moment. Ayala moves down the order as well as Zhukovic has not had the race that he would have been hoping for. A heat race 1 win, a feature race 1 win, but he is unable to move. He started 28th position in this race. He's been unable to move up the order at all. Really, he's only in 22nd position. That's with a lot of incidents around. I'm sure that he's one of the ones that have been unfortunately collected in that one. Westman leading this train of drivers that includes Gould, Hurd, Gwilym and Codd. And almost all of them following each other onto the gravel there through turn number 6. up towards the corkscrew here. It's side by side. Gwilym on the outside of Cod. A little bit of smoke. Gwilym backs out, doesn't want to go side by side, especially down the drop. Goes for the speed on the exit. Slightly different lines going there, but Cod stays ahead. Gwilym's now got Neil Rock right behind him as well. Zach Thibault is involved as that looks like an opportunity ahead for Hurd, buying attacked here by Cod, because Gould was going slightly slowly, but here goes Gwilym on the outside as Gould goes off the circuit. Gwilym is going to push him along. No, he's not. He's going to move over to the left. As 5 cars involved in this fight here as they head up towards turn number 1. It is Hurd leading the way ahead of Cod. Who's going to lead the way? Is it going to be... Oh, Gould's off! Gould is off! After leading Division 2 for the first half of this race, he is off of the track. Cod holds on to Gwilym. Rock behind. You've got Thibault, Spame, Anfield and Linksome Hatfield all in that fight as well. About a second between Poplar and McBoola, keeping an eye on that gap. About half a second between El Hilary and Malone. Like I said, I think Malone is using El Hilary here. This gap between Lane and the fight between 4th and 5th now down to just a second as we're into the second half of this race. 9 minutes left on the clock out of 20 that we had at the start of this one. McBoola down to 3/10. Poplar had some sort of issue out in the lead because McBoola is now right behind and looking for the lead in the Formula Llama machine. A lot of curbing there. Slightly wider line by Poplar. A big swerve to the right-hand side to get onto the racing line for the final turn. The gap just 0.3 of a second. Again onto the gravel by Poplar. He moves to the left, trying to break the toe here. But McBoola is all over the rear. He's going to need to decide which way is he going to go. Is he going to go around the outside or the inside? He's gone to the outside. Poplar's going to brake. He's broken a little bit earlier, actually. McBoola trying to go for the switchback on the exit, can't do it. El Hilary goes fastest overall. He's only 0.8 of a second behind Ian Lane now, and that fight for third is heating up in the background that you could just see there. But it is McBoola 0.3 of a second off of Poplar for the race lead right now in feature race number 2. 20 points on offer for the win here. Hard Charger Awards definitely going to go to El Hilary and Malone in this one. 6 points most likely for El Hilary, 4 points for Malone, I'm going to say. And I think Stephen Hurd will probably get the 2 points for the Hard Charger Award. But that means in addition to their normal points, Malone and Hilary, they're going for the positions here, but they're already going to getting quite a lot of bonus points. If they're able to stay below 4 incident points, they can get an extra 2 bonus points as well. If they go completely clean, which I don't think either of them have because they were around that big issue in the back of the field at the start, they could have got 5 extra bonus points. But like I said, there was a huge amount of issues at the back, so I don't think that's going to happen. Malone has fallen off of El Hilary here. El Hilary, though, on the back of Ian Lane. How much is Lane going to be able to hold up El Hilary? Is Matt Malone going to be able to take a benefit of that? Keeping an eye on that race lead, you see just at the top of your screen, half a second between Poplar and McBoola. But here comes El Hilary. Ian Lane on the outside. Is he going to do the same thing that Matt Malone did and just let him through? Yes, he does. Ian Lane doing the same thing that Matt Malone did, allowing El Hilary through. If Ian Lane has got 0 incident points, he doesn't mind giving up that 1 position for the extra bonus points. The 1 position between 3rd and 4th is only 2 points. He could have here an additional 5 bonus points for having a clean race. So I'm not surprised actually if he is already on 0 incident points. This is a great race for him to just get those bonus points under his belt. Cod and Hurd here still in the midst of this train of drivers going for 8th place in this race. Coming up to the final 5 minutes right now as we head up towards turn number 6. On lap number 9. So close between all these drivers, getting onto the curbing, and that's Stephen Hurd with a penalty! Kevin Anfield with a penalty! And that is going to be Stephen Hurd. He will have to stop. He has reached the incident limit. Stephen Hurd has flown up the field, but will need to pit with Kevin Anfield for those penalty points that he has accumulated. Mabula, 3 tenths per second behind Poplar here. 5 minutes on the clock and about 4 laps. A lot of changing positions. There's more penalties. Matt Gwilym and Zach Thibault all with penalties as well. Matt Gwilym, I think he has just escaped to pit lane. He has decided that is it. He's out of this one. That is a real shame. As a lot of the other drivers clearing their penalties. Matt Gwilym deciding enough is enough. And he has gone down pit lane. There could have been some contact there though, requiring a tow. But that is a real shame. A number of drivers out of this race, including the man who started from first position with our reverse grid. Neil Trotter out 5 laps down. The gap 2 tenths of a second here in the fight between the lead of Poplet and Mabula. These two have been fighting, well, these two have been in the leading 2 position for quite some time. A big slide though for Mabula. He has just lost about 6 tenths of a second to Poplet. And with just 3 laps to go, Poplet just now needs to keep it nice and clean. Thibault, he's running in 14th. He was 4th overall in Division 2. He will have to come down pit lane to serve that penalty that he has. Travis Linton Hatfield is off the track. He was in 2nd, I believe, of Division 2. And he is out. Leading Division 2 is Anthony Hilton, 6th overall. Doing a fantastic job at the moment, actually. And with all of the issues that were happening, that massive train of drivers that we had have all settled themselves down. Westman on the outside of Neil Rocks here. Is he going to switch it back over towards the inside? He can't do it as Rocks holds that inside line. Drivers out of pit lane there. Zach Thibault looks like he's falling down position, so I believe he has just come into pit lane. Yes, he has. Zach Thibault down pit lane. Lewis Cardona 3 laps down, and he has just got a penalty there as well. It does look like Downey, Rosenfield, Trotter, Cardona and Gwilym are out of this one. Cardona actually looks like he is still racing, but a number of laps down at this point. So just trying to put in some laps, and actually Cardona being in Division 2, he will get about 10th or 11th in class, which is not too bad. That's how I'm going to try and figure out what is going wrong with the class system ready for next week, because it is just saying that 2 entries are outside the class. Then why aren't any of my classes shown? It's extremely annoying, and hopefully I'll be able to sort that one out for next week, so we can have a better understanding of positions for each of the classes, as well as our hard charger awards, because I do believe that is the reason the hard chargers are not working with our positions gained. It's because it's positions gained. Actually, I might be able to fix that very quickly as we continue to watch the leading race here. And no, I cannot change it to be about everyone and not about the cars, which is a shame. But here we go anyway. This is the fight for the lead, and Mabula has closed it back to 3 tenths of a second. El Hayari only 2.5 seconds back, but I don't think he's going to have enough time in the next 2 laps to be able to close it up to this battle for the lead. Who is going to end up on top? Mabula, last time he got extremely close into the corkscrew, he slid that car just a little bit. There's about a second between Malone and Lane, so could there be a fight for P number 4 on the cards? Very possibly. 1 minute left on the clock. It is going to be white flag the next time we come across the line. And once again, Mabula is right on the rear end of Poplar. What's going to happen this time up to the corkscrew? Can he keep it nice and smooth? He goes for the outside line, trying to avoid contact. And once again, that gap increases. Only to 4 tenths this time. He's going to try and maintain that. Close it even to the end of this lap. It's back down to 0.3 of a second. The tyres are screaming. You can see that he's sliding his way, McBuller, there, as Poplar leads the way into the final turn as we go on to the final lap of this race. White flag will come out. Poplar leading the way, trying to break the toe from McBuller. It is half a second between the two of them. Final lap. White flag is out. They head up towards turn number 2. Poplar going for a smooth line. McBuller going for the tight line. 0.4 between them right now. It is about the middle of this lap. Then McBuller is able to close the gap. It's about turn 5 to turn 6 and he's closed it all the way down to Poplar. Is that going to happen again? As Poplar's gone off! No, he's not. There he is. That was a slight lag incident there for Poplar. My word, just a slight little bit of lag. Poplar is still leading the way. 0.3 of a second though. And once again, McBuller is going to close all the way up in towards turn number 6. Onto the gravel on the entry to the corner. Perfect line on the exit for both of them. Once again, McBuller closes up. Once again, Poplar's going to go defensive up towards the braking zone. Braking a bit earlier this time for McBuller. Is he going to go for the exit? Gravel from Poplar. 0.3 of a second. It looks like Poplar may have just been able to hold on to this one. Perfect placement. Through the corkscrew, here in feature race 2, the last race of the day, 4 races, up towards the final turn, defending from Poplar. There's contact. McBuller is going to try and get the faster exit, but he can't do it. Poplar wins at Laguna Seca, feature race 2. McBuller takes second, followed by El Herreri, Ian Lane in 4th. Matt Malone in 5th. Mark Codd will come home in 6th position. Fighting there for 7th across the line. A bit of a fight going on between Jukovic, Hurd and Anfield. Jukovic managing to recover up to 15th place overall, but with only 2 Division 2 drivers ahead of him. That's 13th overall and no points from this race. Not a clean race for him either, so he won't be getting any bonus points and not any of the hard charger points either. What a race that was. What an event that has been. And let's have a look at the results of your final feature race of today. Bob Poplar won by less than 0.2 of a second to Clayton McBuller. El Herreri recovered with the reverse grid and got all the way up to P3 and is definitely the hard charger winner for 6 additional points. Ian Lane got 4th, followed by Matt Malone in 5th. Mark Codd came home in 6th position ahead of Neil Rocks. Anthony Hilton in 8th, followed by Risto Ressman and Jared Swaim, rounding out your top 10. Richard Dempsey took home 11th ahead of Matty Quidland. Harry Fox in 13th ahead of John Cook. Milan Jukovic does not get points in this race after winning Heat 1 and Feature 1. Stephen Hurd finished in 16th ahead of Kevin Anfield. Travis Linscombe Hatfield, Division 2 Race 1 and Heat Race 1 winner and Feature Race 1 winner, does not win Division 2 here in Feature Race 2. Zach Gould was up there for so long but couldn't quite hold it after going off the track and down to 19th. Richard Edgar in 20th position. The back of the field was Zach Thibault, Brandon Lobb and Edward Ayala. Matt Gwillim, Lewis Cardona, Neil Trotter, Timothy Rosenfeld and Riley Downey all out of this race. 13 laps of feature race running there and it was won by Bob Poplar. What a fantastic event that has been. Round number 1 is done. 4 races completed. Make sure you do catch us next Saturday for the Sebring round here on Beehive Bill's Twitch channel. Of course, you can watch all of these broadcasts again over on the Beehive Bill Broadcasting YouTube channel, as well as the extended highlight videos, which will be out before the next race. We have got a fantastic calendar heading your way. If you want to get down on track, join now before the league is closed, because we do have a fantastic amount of drivers signed up for season number 2. I hope you have had a fantastic event here. I certainly have. If you are watching live here on Twitch, do not go anywhere, because we are going to be broadcasting the Matt Malone Patron League in a moment's time. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. But for the Renault Clio League, we'll see you next Saturday. Goodbye.